Hi everybody, I've been a Stardew Valley lover for a long time, and recently I've been trying my hands at modding this game. It has not been easy. In fact, I actually lost a save because of it. It broke. I don't know what happened. But as you might have seen, one of my favorite mods is Stardew Valley Expanded. And I just wanted to show you the other mods I usually use with it, because I think they really improve the gameplay. So since there are a lot of them, I really wanted to take a moment and show you what I use. So basically, I don't know if this is the best solution. It's only the only one I could find on the internet. So if you have any advices, please give it to me. Please say it. But what I use for my mod is ModDrop, and basically you can install mods from Nexus Mods and ModDrop itself, and I think it works good. I mean, you don't really have to go into your Stardew Valley folder and manually update mods every time, at least. Which, I mean, I've modded a few games so far, and it's really the most annoying things for me, so thankfully I don't have to do it with Stardew Valley. Anyways, and the first mod I'm going to show you is actually the generic mod configuration menu, because I think it's basically, if the most useful mod I have, it's pretty close. Basically what it does is it allows you to edit the configurations of your mod without going into the JSON file, which for those of you who have already modded Stardew Valley can understand that this is why mods break most of the time, because we put our hands on JSON files and you modify stuff and you don't really know what it is. So yeah, that's why it says break. Anyways, so when I discovered this mod, I was really happy, because I'm not really like a tech wizard and not an expert in modding, so I was really happy that there was something for those of us who just love to play this game with mods but are not really experts. So what it does, it basically adds a little cog on the start of the Stardew Valley menu, and you can change pretty much all of the settings. And I'm planning to either do another video or put it in this same video to show you how it works, because it's absolutely amazing, especially if you have a lot of other mods installed, as I do. Then I think we can start from the top. So I have the cheats menu and the item spawner. These two are kind of cheaty mods. Like you could really easily use them to cheat your saves, but what I use the cheats menu for is basically just to freeze time when I'm not really recording anything, or yeah, basically I use it just to freeze time. And maybe, I don't know, I plan to do some tutorials about Stardew Valley Expanded in the future, so maybe I will use it to ease my suffering teleporting places. But it's really useful, and I'm going to show you that in game as well later on. So now I have the item spawner, which is basically what the title says. I find it really useful as well, and it basically lets you spawn whatever item you want into the game. Of course, you have to be careful about that, because every single item that's in the game, this mod lets you spawn it, and it's not really that easy. You have to be a little bit careful if you don't want to break your game. For example, as I'm going to show you later, you cannot spawn in weeds because you cannot place them, and it's, yeah, I think it's actually what broke my last save file, because I found out you could spawn weeds in, like the ones you found in caves and around your farm. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, but I think it broke my file, so that's the problem. And also, if you were wondering, that's where they discovered the eatable rock from. that was going on some time ago. There was a trend where in Stardew Valley there was an actual food item that was a rock. It was most likely discovered, or they could get it from this item spawner. But I mean, so here we have the gender neutrality mod. I don't really use this mod in this farm right now. But I did use it in some other farms. I just keep it on because I think it's nice. Dialogue, for example, doesn't say granddaughter or grandson, it says grandkid. I think it's nice for other people to be able to, let's say, relate more to my gameplay in a way. And up we have, I'd say, to do all the clothing mods. So basically, one of the other reasons I installed the item spawner is because of these clothing mods. I really love Stardew Valley's clothing, but sometimes they are not it, honestly. Sometimes Stardew Valley clothing is really lacking. So what I did is I looked up for clothing mods and I found a ton of them. But the only sad thing is you can't craft this clothing in game. Like there is no way with the sewing machine that you could possibly craft these clothes. So the only way to get it, at least that I have discovered, if you know a better way, please tell me, because I don't really like to do this. But the only way I figured out how to get these clothes is to use the item spawner, spawn the clothes in, and then use them. It's not really good, especially in a farm that you're not planning to use any cheats on. But yeah, I mean, I would do everything for my character to look good, so we have to do that as well. And here we are. Let's skip on as well a little bit. Let's skip some. Here we have the Sailor Moon hairstyles and clothing. I really like this more because it adds a ton of clothing. You might have seen the hair I use are most likely from this mod. Honestly, I don't even know how much stuff this mod adds because it's just so much stuff, and I really love the style, so I'm really happy that I actually installed it. So here we have Layla's shirt mod. These are just, as you can imagine, shirts. Because I feel like we can pretty much customize every single pant you have, so you don't really need that many of them, but shirts are sometimes, not the best, so I like to use this mod. Now, getting back to the top, I'm going to do Stardew Valley Expanded as the last one, by the way, because it's just the more complicated to explain, not really for any other reason. And we have Stardew Valley. So you might have known this is very famous. I actually discovered it when I joined the kind of YouTube Stardew Valley community, when I started to watch YouTube videos a while back. And it's a really good recolor. You're going to see it when I dump it in game. Like, it's just so good. It's the best recolor in my opinion. And also, if you go here, so now these are the mods that I've installed in my game right now. But if you go in here, another very good recolor that I've not installed in my game right now is this. It means just a new Map Recolor. This is a little bit more realistic, while Stardew Valley is really a little bit more, follows a little bit more the feeling of the original Stardew Valley. And I've, like, on the internet, on YouTube, I've heard that many people don't really like it because of the grass being blue. That's why it's called Stardew Valley, by the way, because it adds a blue tone to everything, as far as I understand. And I really like it because it makes the grass blue. So it's really nice. And here we have Wintergrass. See, this is, you don't really need it 100%, but it is recommended that you use it with the Stardew Valley Expanded and the farm I am using, because there's not really any way to get a lot of grass before winter. Because there's really a lot of details in that farm, so yeah, it is recommended you use this mod if you want to survive the winter. So, and I found it really nice as well, because I think, well, grass should exist in winter, so it is recommended just, for you to enjoy your playtime in Stardew Valley better and not constantly worry about getting grass. I actually tried to use Stardew Valley Expanded with the farm I am using right now without this mod, and it was really difficult getting through winter because I did not have enough wheat. I always had to buy it, and whilst this cannot be a problem during later years, in the first year it was 100% a problem. So yeah, I really recommend you use it if you want a better experience. So here we have this mod. What this mod does essentially is adding the possibility to have elf ears and mirrored tails, and I really like it. So as you might have seen, I use the elf ears. They don't show up in the character creation screen, but they do show up in game. I don't really use the tail because I find it kind of weird. Of course, because Stardew Valley characters are not supposed to have a mermaid tail, so they're supposed to have 2 legs, so I find it kind of weird how they work in it, but I think it's really nice. And you can also have like fairy wings and everything like that. And something I find also really good with this mod is that you can actually see your character's clothes change. So for example, in spring you will have like lighter clothes, whilst in winter you will have longer sleeves, and there's an option to have your hands stuck in your pockets when it rains. So I find it really nice. In my opinion, it's a really good mod, just to add a little bit more depth and changing, and a little bit more of realism to the game. Well, I say realism, it does add elf ears and things like that, but kind of realism. And here we have our last 2 mods. So these are mods that I just like to use in general. They are not like you don't have to use them, but I really think they make my day easier. So here we have the Horse Overhaul, and especially with Stardew Valley Expanded and the farm I use, the problem is that there are a lot of tiny passageways, and I'm going to show you later on when I will eventually get a horse in my save file, but my new farm I created. But yeah, there are a lot of tiny cramped passageways, and your horse cannot really normally fit through these because it's meant to fit only through a too wide gap or whatever, and this mod makes my life just so much easier. And I really like to use it in combination with this specific farm. In my opinion, with the other farms, it's not really needed. It could feel a little bit cheaty, but in this case, I think it's, it makes sense to use this mod since the passageways are really a little bit smaller. And the last mod is just to add a cute dog for myself because I really like dogs, but basically the only thing I don't really like about Stardew Valley is that there's not really a lot of dog options. Basically all your dogs look mustard yellow, and yeah, so I downloaded this mod and we'll hopefully get a cute dog, not the one in the picture by the way, similar to this one, in summer. So yeah, so now up to our last mod, we have Stardew Valley Expanded. So you can this has been created by the creator of Stardew Valley Expanded, and it contains, Stardew Valley Expanded, this stuff, this stuff, this stuff, this stuff, this stuff, this one, and this one. I don't know what they are. I just know they make this amazing mod work. To be honest, I'm not really an expert in this. But yeah, and also I do not understand why it says substituted in here. I apparently have another file with the same files, but it's impossible. So I really don't understand why it says that, to be honest. I just hope it doesn't break another save file because it would be heartbreaking. And this one, by the way, is what you want to have to run basically all of your mods. I don't have it installed separately. I just have it in this folder because it's easier and you can update it with the folder itself. And yeah, but this is the mod you 100% want to download if you want to run any mods on mod drop. This one, on the other hand, makes the farm run. And this one is the farm I'll be using. It's the Immersive Farm. So basically, as far as my understanding goes, you could use 2 farms with Stardew Valley Expanded. This one I use here, and Grandpa's farm, if I'm not mistaken. I never really used it because I don't really find it like I don't really think it is a good farm to use. But that's just, you know, personal opinions. I play the game differently from how you play it, probably. So yeah, this is what I find myself useful, comfortable with. So yeah, I really like this farm, and the only downside could potentially be the fact that it has a lot of one-tile wide gaps, for example, to go in the woods and stuff. But other than that, it's a really good farm in my opinion. So if you can see here, of course, I have more than one loadout of mods. And yeah, by the way, if you're wondering, this thing, it's a bug. I can fix it. It says update available, but you can't update it really, because yeah, it's stuck like this, and I've already reported it as a bug. I don't know when they're going to get to it. I remember in the past they updated actually mod drop and this disappeared, but for some reason now it has appeared. This is the only, like, you know, folder of mods I think I've ever used, so I don't think it does the same. I don't know if it does the same thing with other ones. I hope it doesn't, because it's kind of annoying, and this just means that so basically this just means that I have installed the latest version from Nexus mods, not from mod drop. It doesn't mean anything. It's not broken. This mod is not broken. I know it for sure. I've basically tested everything before resorting to cancel last save file. And yeah, so, and if you're interested, I mean, I can leave links to mods that I have here that are not installed. I don't really use them at all, to be honest. I've used them maybe once or twice, not that much. Mainly because, you know, sometimes there are mods that I found better substitutes for that maybe include other things. So yeah, and this is it. This is my mods list. So when I get to it, I hope soon, I will record another video showing them in your game, in Stardew Valley, so that you can really see how they all work together. I think it's nice mod list, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope you like this video, and I all my mods. I hope you like this video. I will leave the download link to everything down in the description, to mod drop as well. There are a ton of other mod managers for Stardew Valley, so if you don't like mod drop, I will just leave the link to the site you can download this, the internet website you can download these mods from, and you can use whatever you like to run your mods for